In our next segment of Kick Unhealthy Relationships to the Curb, with author Stephanie McPhail and psychologist Steve Vaccaro, she's a nurturer by nature. This week's special guest is Robin Landau, who will teach us how to connect the spirit within ourselves and know that something bigger than ourselves is guiding each of us on our own personal journey. Robin is a licensed massage therapist, a feng shui designer, master macronic energy teacher, and energy alchemist. With her over 30-year career as a healer, her gifted wisdom transforms human ascension, energy healing, and the path to a higher self. That's Kick Unhealthy Relationships to the Curb with Stephanie and Steve. Together, they're leading the way to empower others to live healthy lives with healthy people. That's every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube, and on Mondays from 6 to 7 p.m. on Optimum Cable Channel 115. All show times are Eastern Standard Time only. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
What's up, Steve?
Hey, Stephanie, wow, you got a guest with you tonight.
I do. I brought a guest for in studio. How cool is that?
This is not a guest. This is the guest, right?
The big guest. For those of you who don't know, this is my husband, David.
Everybody.
Yeah, we get to work together, so we're lucky enough that we actually like each other and get to work with each other.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And David, man, we've been talking about you. We've been praying for you all the way in New York, sending you good vibes this whole time. So I'm so thankful to see you up on the screen here. And God bless you and your family, Dave.
Thanks so much, Steve. I'm really pleased to be able to connect with you live in this forum. Of course, you and I have connected before, and I love what you guys are doing, and of course, the opportunity that Stephanie has to bring some light and love to the scene. But yeah, I feel the love. A lot of healing has happened, a lot of evolution and growth, I like to think. But here, back and better than ever. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Now, how are you healthy? Everything is okay? I mean, what's the situation? Because we were a little nervous here on the east side here.
Yeah, well, it was, as you know, kind of touch and go for a bit. But as they say, all is well that ends well. And I'm feeling 100% fantastic. My health is restored. You know, still have a path in front of me, of course. You can't ever be too good, right? Always room to improve, as Steph will say. But yeah, really feeling a lot better, and so glad to be back in the saddle and doing what I love to do, which is serving our community alongside my wonderful wife.
That's great. You got a beautiful family. So, Stephanie, before we get further, anybody else coming on the show, like a next door neighbor or children or anything like that?
Children, I don't know. I mean, they like to just show up and pop up at any time. So there's a possibility of that. Neighbors, probably not.
All right. Have you made any new neighbors there in Texas?
Like new friends, neighbors, no. We actually kind of cool. It was, just 4th of July, and we got to hang out with our good friends who were actually the surgeon and her husband who saved David's life. So we got to hang out with them on Saturday and hang out with our friends that we moved to Texas for on Sunday and spend 4th of July with them. So we had a really great weekend, just having a really fun time and spending time with really beautiful, amazing people.
Yeah, we advocate for surrounding yourself with people that can improve your lives, and none better than the one who actually saves it. So,
yeah, no, that is great. We were speaking to your friend, the nurse there, Duke, a couple of weeks ago, and looks like he was a great influence and support of you as well.
He's one of those guys that you may not recognize immediately when you meet somebody how they're going to affect you or change your life or what kind of person they are. Very unassuming, but one of the warmest, most genuine, and just incredible guys that you could meet. So I'm definitely pleased to know him.
Wow, this is great. It's a blessing to see you, man, and Godspeed. And I love your family. And again, we'll all get together soon. But we have a show to do here today. Every Wednesday, it's Kick Unhealthy Relationships to the Curb. That's Stephanie McPhail, along with our great husband, David. I'm Steve Vaccaro. And we have a great guest today, Robin Landau, who's a New Yorker, and she'll tell us all about what she does in a few moments. But again, the Chapters Network, Chapters Community Support Services, is a nonprofit organization, and there's a group out there called Rescuing Families, and they do a great job of giving back, but building homes and building lives back, literally. And they are construction workers, but they have a nonprofit, and they go into the homes of people with disabilities, people that are challenged financially, but they had something really unfortunate happen to them recently. Let's check out this local news clip to show our viewers.
Police continue to investigate who stole thousands of dollars worth of tools in Hempstead. That's where volunteers were in the process of renovating a home for a family in need. News 12's Virginia Huey has the details.
We were absolutely devastated.
Gina Santoro of Rescuing Families is heartbroken after a thief stole the power tools that her charity was using to renovate a house in Hempstead for a family in need.
We've lost about $25,000 worth of tools, which is a huge hit to our grassroots charity.
Gina says the theft happened Thursday evening at the house on Bird Street that Rescuing Families was working on. Many of the stolen tools have been in Vincent Santoro's family for generations.
From my grandfather, from my dad, which I don't have no longer. And these were tools that we use every day. So I don't have those family members here with me anymore, but I was able to use their tools. So it meant the world to me to have those. And now, sadly, they're gone.
Rescuing Families have been working since January to make the house handicapped accessible for Claire Helfenbein, who is wheelchair-bound, her daughter, and autistic son.
It's despicable, it's disgusting, it's disgraceful.
Helfenbein was looking forward to moving into the renovated house on July 4th, but now the crime has brought the project to a standstill.
I feel so bad for Gina and Vinny because these people are not doing anything except trying to help people in their community, trying to help disabled people, veterans.
A police investigation is underway. Meantime, the Santoros are scrambling to raise enough money to replace the tools so they can finish the renovations to the house. Their charity yard sale normally raises money for needy families. Now they say all of the proceeds will go towards buying new tools.
Without these tools, we're not able to help families.
Gina is holding out hope that the thief will return the tools.
I hope you have some sort of a heart. I hope you recognize that you not only took something from us, but you took something from every family that we're trying to help.
In Hempstead, Virginia Huey, News 12, Long Island.
How sad. And if you have any information about this case,
that is heartbreaking for anyone who doesn't know Gina, and her husband Vincent. They're just such nice people. Oh, there they are. You guys are awesome. I'm so sorry that you're dealing with that.
Thanks, Stephanie. We really appreciate it. I hope everything's doing okay with you and your hubby.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much.
So, Gina and Vinny, you guys are outstanding. We've been friends for a long time. I always admire the work that you do. And also, it's a family affair with you, your brother Mick, so it's great. But during the pandemic, we joined forces, right? So I needed medical supplies to give to people, and you needed some food distribution to give to people. So we teamed up, and we got it done over the last year, right?
Yes, we did.
It was a crazy year, but it was a pleasure working with you, Steve. We made a huge difference and kept a lot of people safe, and we did that together, and I think it was a plan accomplished.
Yes.
It's great. You guys have been doing such great work for such a long time, and unfortunately, somebody stole those tools from you guys. Any follow-up with that? Because I know you have a big event on Sunday.
So we got a lot of people to donate, a lot of, I guess, regular people, homeowners. We had a few larger companies donate gift cards, money, tools. It was really an amazing outpouring.
The outpouring of some support from the community, for us, and I think in general of late, but for us, it's just amazing how much they come out to support our mission, to make sure we had what we need to accomplish this job and many more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been getting some donations from a lot of people, but you guys are hard workers. It's 24/7 with you, and always giving back, paying forward. I greatly admire you. But real quick, talk about Sunday's event.
So Sunday is our Restoring Hope Barbecue. This is our first fundraiser since COVID took over and stopped all of our lives. So we're able to actually have our fundraiser. We're super excited about it. There's a lot going on, live music, face painters. This is the family event. We're going to have an illusionist there. There are very few tickets left, so if anybody wants to jump in and get tickets, definitely go to our Eventbrite page or our Facebook page. The event is on there, and grab your tickets.
And we're going to be doing a live show from there, interviewing all the great people that are coming together on Sunday.
That's
Awesome.
Outstanding, Steve. Thank you.
You guys are great. Well, thank you for popping on. And this is like a couples retreat here. I feel lonely here, but this
Steve,
is.
you didn't get the memo. You were supposed to bring your wife on. We could have given her the kudos as well.
Gotta get that memo. Gotta get that memo. But guys, Gina and Vinny and Mick, thank you so very much. God bless them all your efforts.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. That's this Sunday. We'll do a live show there, Restoring Hope Barbecue, rescuing families. They do great work. But unfortunately, sometimes we lose people along the way. And we lost a dear friend, John Finch, who was a relative to Mike Longo, who is part of our Bat Boy cast. And John Finch had cancer. That's his wife. He died really, really young. And our blessings and thoughts go out to the family, to the Finch family, to the Longo family. That's Mike with his children, who are both NYPD officers, and they do such a great job. Mike, man, if you're watching, we love you, brother, and Godspeed. Our thoughts and prayers are with you at all times. So we're so thankful for the things that you do and contribute. But may your brother-in-law, John Finch, rest in peace. God bless him. But also, we have to move it along. We have our Bat Boy shows that are this summer, our summer tour. We're all over the place. All the proceeds are going to nonprofit agencies. We're going to be at the Boys and Girls Club at Kips Bay on July 20th, the Boys and Girls Club in Mount Vernon on July 22nd, Arts in the Plaza in Long Beach on August 7th, the Argyle Theater in Babylon on August 8th, the Yogi Berra Museum in New Jersey on August 13th, and the Babe Ruth Museum in Baltimore, Maryland on September 15th. So all the proceeds go to nonprofit agencies, and we give it back. We've been doing it for 3 years. We've had over 25 sold-out shows, and we are going to be off-Broadway coming real soon in October, now that everything's lifted up. So there's that. But, Stephanie, you have a book that you have to get into people's hands. So how do they get your book? And explain to our viewers what that book's all about.
Well, my book, Being Loved Shouldn't Hurt, I wrote that now, it was 3 years ago. And I decided that it was important for me to share what I went through in dealing with toxic relationships, and to let people know that they too could create their best lives. They didn't have to stay trapped in this cycle, and that there was a chance and a choice for them to do something different. So that book is out. I've actually since written a second book called Being Loved Shouldn't Hurt Workbook. It's just the workbook that goes along with it. So for those people who are looking for more tools in order to start working on the things they need to work on to create those healthy relationships, they can obtain those books from Amazon. And of course, they can always reach out to me directly if they're looking for extra support.
And I heard a little birdie say you're going to be in New York in a couple of weeks. Hey, there we are together. Look at that picture. That's probably the only picture of the three of us, probably.
It is.
I think so,
It literally is. Well, you know, what I was realizing yesterday is that exactly in a month from yesterday, I will be in New York. So I will actually be in New York from the 6th into the 12th of August. And so I think we have some fun things planned for while I'm there.
Yeah, we're going to have a book tour. You're going to do a book signing at Dolphin Bookstore, and we'll have a date released tomorrow. So
Nice.
You get your books back here in New York. You got to do the New York thing, the hustle and bustle, back in the swing of things here. So you ready for it?
Can't take the hustle and bustle out of the New Yorker. So I already sent the books. They're on their way. You'll be getting them in like 2 weeks. They'll be ready and waiting for all the amazing people that are going to come in and chat with us and take some photo ops and get some signatures. I can't wait to see all of you that will come and spend some time with us while I'm visiting New York.
That's great. That's great. Now, we have a little segment, our Family Feud moment, real quick before we bring out guests. Then we have a back in the day commercial that we're going to show there. Then we're going to bring Robin in. But this is our Family Feud moment. Check it out. It's about marriage.
Point values are double, ladies. We got the top 7 answers on the board. This is a fill in the blank. A woman loves a man who loves to do what?
Hunt.
Huh?
Hunt.
Hunt.
Write her poetry.
Write her poetry. A woman loves a man who loves to do what?
Cooks for her.
Cooks for her. Nikki, a woman loves a man who loves to do what?
Does the dishes. Yes.
Does the dishes. A woman loves a man who loves to do what?
Make love to her.
Make love to her. Daddy? Ain't none of your answers up here. You hang in there, man. They good answers, they just ain't up there. I'm just going down. Good and stuff I would say. They just ain't up there. Kalina, a woman loves a man who loves to do what?
Watch the kids.
Watch the kids. All right, we got to be careful now, Vanessa. We got 2 strikes, darling. The Catch Key family can steal.
Buy her things.
Buy her things. A woman loves a man who loves to do what, Rick?
Dance.
Dance. Number 6.
Big bang.
5. Number 2.
The return of spring marks the start of a season for gift giving, with graduation, Mother's Day, and many other occasions for celebration. If you are a person who must be away from the festivities, floral arrangements are a popular way of expressing affection. This year, there is a new solution. Gifts along with flowers that are suitable as floral containers and that combine the beauty of flowers with the permanence of a home accessory. Among choices are pitcher and bowl sets, coffee grinders, chafing dishes, and drinking mugs. This last-minute cross-country gift service is expected to be a boon to people who have waited too long to send gifts. It eliminates those frantic last-minute shopping, wrapping, and mailing problems which can happen to anyone just about any time. And you know what, ladies? It gives you a way to send flowers to a man and not have him blush.
What do you think, guys?
Well, the first one, first of all, I was wondering how, like, the lady didn't get it right away. I mean, come on. You don't want someone to cook for you and do dishes and help, like, be a partner?
I don't know what 100 people they surveyed, but...
Yeah, right. So now, what about the flowers, though? I mean, now we gotta get flowers. That's 1958 commercial, so...
That one cracked me up because, so that we don't see him blush, because God forbid a guy should show any emotion other than like being angry or frustrated.
That's why we bring this out, because Stephanie, you can pick it apart just like that. That's what this is all about. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
We have some work to do here. We have some business to take care of. We have Robin Landauer, great, amazing guest. Why don't you intro us, Stephanie?
Well, Robin, you've known her for a while, and so she actually watched a show that we were doing, and she said, hey, let's chat. So I jumped on the phone with her, and when we started talking, I said, hey, you and my husband David would actually have a lot to talk about. So after that, we were like, all right, let's jump and do this and like make this happen, because when you get the spiritual people together, like I always say, I'm a little bit more the grounded one in the relationship, and Dave is a little bit more the spiritual one. My groundedness kind of holds him down here, because if not, he'd be out in the clouds somewhere. And Robin said that she kind of empathized with that. So we're gonna bring Robin on. Steve, you're gonna be kind of the grounded one in that part. I think it's gonna be a great conversation.
It's great. We needed Dave to come on this part of the show, but let's bring our wonderful guest, Robin Landauer, into the show. She's a New Yorker. She's been here through and through. She's a mom, a wife, and she's got a beautiful family here in Long Beach, New York, and she's doing amazing things. And she's a former co-host with me a couple of years back. We did the college circuit, and she was doing great things, co-hosting with this disorganized, kind of out there kind of a person. But Robin, welcome to Kick Unhealthy Relationships to the Curb.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here with all of you, all three of you. And I asked for you personally, Dave, so I'm glad you're here.
Really pleased to meet you, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the chat today.
Yes. So, Robin, share a little bit about what you do and how has the pandemic affected what you do, but your family and moving forward.
Well, I'm a massage therapist for, I guess, the last 32 years now. And I have, since 2008, I went to interior design school, which then led me to feng shui. So then I kind of call myself an energy alchemist, so I understand energy. And actually, back when Sandy happened, I started noticing energy patterns. So my massage clients became my interior design clients, and I was recognizing these signature energy signatures in their homes that they were coming in for anxiety and depression. I would feel them in the home, so that led me to the feng shui aspect. And then through feng shui, I learned about this new energy modality called Marconics. And I guess since 2016, I started getting involved with them. And then I stepped into the role of teacher. And just from the beginning of this year, I am now stepping in the role of master teacher. So I teach the upper levels of this new energy modality.
Yeah. And for our viewers out there that might be new to this, break it down a little bit what exactly you do and how you affect people and what the goal is for you and for healing with your clients and the people that you work with.
Right. So Marconics is considered an ascension energy. So the healing is more on the mental and etheric body, and then as a byproduct, the physical body will start healing. Because really what we're here to do is clear the karma and also pull out the density that's in our chakra system. So we're on a karma wheel. We're in this birth and rebirth of lifetimes, right? Reincarnation, those that understand and believe that. And so we're here to clear this karma that we've accumulated lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And so Marconics it's a gift to humanity, because in 2012, those viewers that are familiar with the big shift, the whole Mayan calendar, it was going to be the end of the world, was really the end of an age. So we were exiting the age of Pisces and entering the age of Aquarius. And that has to do with the precision of the equinoxes, when the Earth was moving around all the constellations.
Wow. So we're going to go right into Dave there. Dave, so the work that Robin does, what are your thoughts about that, and how do you connect with the great work that she's doing?
Well, I appreciate and really honor the fact that Robin has, from the sound of it, of course, we're just getting to know one another, but honored your intuition and followed that path of service. I think sometimes the words energy and healing are sort of thrown around, and while there are a lot of different modalities and ways of approaching it, I think what makes the biggest difference is people who have the experience, they experience the modalities and find a way within themselves to honor their own perspective, their own truth, and really commit to serving others through it. I can speak from my own experience being a Reiki master teacher and having practiced over 15 years now. This type of work is far-reaching, and the implications are profound. And in terms of all these different modalities, I'm not familiar personally with Marconics, but I think there are a lot of benefits and especially Reiki works very effectively to heal on the emotional and mental level. But there can also be physical benefits as well. And overall, my experience, I'd love to hear Robin's take on it too, is that these modalities really help us just, above all else, become better able to deal with life's challenges and be able to cultivate more peace in our lives. And to me, that's something that everybody can benefit from.
Well said. And Robin, what's your thoughts on what Dave just said? But how do you establish rapport with clients? I mean, what's the first step in the work that you do?
Well, Marconics is light coded. So people that are attracted to Marconics, even the word Marconics is light coded, and those that are attracted to Marconics probably already have it within their DNA, and so it's really just a remembering of it. Marconics came to us, it kind of takes over, not to negate any of the other modalities, but any modality that was available to us prior to the shift of 2012 was created for the third dimensional body template. So what that means is, as we're raising in vibration, as these solar flares and energies that are hitting the earth at this time, those of us that are not a vibration matched to it, you have to understand that we're electromagnetic, and it can short circuit us, and that's why think about it, there's so many autoimmune diseases, there's so many other illnesses that are unexplained. We call them fibromyalgia, mental illness, because we're getting short-circuited. So Marconics was created to help. It's an accelerant. First of all, Marconics is an accelerant, so it helps to accelerate the process of pulling out the density that's short-circuiting us, so that we can level up, so that we can meet these energies that are hitting the earth, so that we can become more in balance as we're clearing and healing and balancing out all the archetypes, all the different things from all these incarnations that we've been, the sinner, the catalysts, the manipulators, the Dr. Lawyers, Indian chiefs, all the archetypes and all the lifetimes that we have. As we're healing them, we start to integrate with these aspects of ourselves, which then, once the holographic body is more in balance, then that's what really healing is. I always knew as a massage therapist that I wasn't the healer. I was the conduit for the energy to get my clients to help to heal themselves.
That makes sense. I mean, that's one of the things that we talk about. You know, David does Psyche, which, you know, I'll let him talk about that. But it's definitely the thing. Even us, Steve and I, as coaches and therapists, it's giving, the healing is done by our clients doing the work, talking about it, using the tools that we give them, you know, so that, you know, from my perspective, that's what it is. But the actual healing comes from them doing it. Like, I can't do it for them. I can't shift it for them. But they're the ones who have to actually step up and decide to do something differently for themselves.
Well, it's in the awareness. So once we become aware of our patterns, and so, you know, we have society that conditions us, we have our parents that condition us, then we have the stuff that's already in our DNA that gives us a propensity to attract these relationships, right? Your show is all about kicking these unhealthy relationships to the curb, but why do we keep attracting these patterns to ourselves? And it's really through this karma wheel that we've been on, right? We each come here with lessons to learn, and so we attract the characters in our play, so to speak. And so as we start to become more aware of these patterns in ourselves, then the change can happen, then the shift can happen. But until we pull out the static that's in our field, it's very hard to see that clearly, because the ego mind is what creates all this emotion, and we're too attached to the emotion, and then that's what throws us off, because we start to behave in a way, we're trying to prove the ego right. You know, we're trying to prove the ego that we're not worthy of being in a healthy relationship. We're trying to prove the ego that we have to stay in bad relationships, because we can't rise above that.
So, Robin, you're saying a shift can't occur unless the static.
Did he actually get frozen talking about static?
Oh, good. I'm glad
taken away, removed.
Because,
Steve, wait, Steve, you got frozen right there as you said static, and then the universe was like, whoop.
Wow.
Sorry, that was the timing was perfect.
That's why I do it. Timing is all important to me. So. But is that true? A shift can't occur unless the static has to be removed, but also acceptance of the shit. You know what the deficiencies are that someone has to be receptive to that. Correct?
Well, you know, it's just that the work that you guys do, the talking of our stuff is important, but we're kind of done talking. We got to start, to start making some changes. and we have to get out of our own way. And so Marconics, what we found, through our clientele and through our practitioner basis, is that as you start to raise above the static or the chaos, right? So much of us are experiencing chaos. As you rise above it, you can stand in your power. You can start to make those changes that are no longer serving you.
This is Kicking Healthy Relationships to the Curb. I'm Steve Vaccaro, a psychologist, and that's Stephanie McPhail along with her husband Dave, and doing great work as therapists. And we have the outstanding guest today, Robin Landauer, and she's talking about her work with Marconics. And shifting over, I hate to use that word, shifting over from being a massage therapist, was it a hard transition or was it kind of a natural thing for you?
You know, it's interesting because when I first graduated massage school, I worked for a doctor, and I was a specialist in lymphatic drainage for lymphedema, which is after breast cancer surgery, or for men, prostate cancer. And going from learning Swedish massage to lymphatic drainage was like learning another language. And so I was already kind of prepared when I started to have to learn Marconics. It was like learning a different language. And what I love about Marconics is that the ego mind is not involved. So as a practitioner of Marconics, when you step into your client's field, you are merging with them and their higher self, their team. And therefore, we are not involved. We're not directing it. We're not intending it. We're not trying to fix anything. It's between the client and their higher self that warrants what is going to take place in a session.
Right. So I know when we co-hosted the show together, you probably picked me dead on the things that I had to change and the things that were going on. And at that time, we were doing a lot of, work within the colleges. But is it easy for you to pick out the help that someone may need and the deficiency or the challenge that they may have internally to reach that point?
Well, I'm very aware, and so I'm intuitive, and so I can pick up on things of what I can see as far as patterning that's not serving someone. But truly, I try to stay in my own lane as much as possible, and not unless they're asking for help. I try not to get too involved, and especially during a Marconic session. Like I said, we're not fixing anything. We're just trying to get them to raise their vibration. And then through coaching, we can then, kind of break it down for them to see where those shifts have to happen. And when we started working together, it was so interesting to see, because the dynamics of you and what you were trying to achieve, and what I felt was kind of you were in your own way. And I was just trying to point that out.
Oh my gosh, you too. Another woman that was pointing out that Steve was kind of in his own way.
Stephanie, don't jump in. I know you were ready to do that. Dave, can you control
I had to.
Just for a minute to the end of the show?
Let me throw you a life preserver.
You know what, though? It's so easy because Steve wants to do good. But if you really break it down, like, why, where is that coming from? I mean, I know some of your adversities of your childhood, and it's interesting when we're trying to prove our worthiness, or when we're trying to, whether it's to yourself or to someone else, it doesn't even matter. But once we know that we are perfectly imperfect as we are, and that we are not limited to the five senses that we're told we have through Marconics, if you get a recalibration, you are actually going to be turning on this dormant DNA that will allow you to actually experience 36 senses. So your sense of knowing, your sense of being able to stay in this now moment and not worry about the future. When you're in alignment with yourself, right? Because what we talk about is that we're integrating with ourselves. So ascension, right? We call this an ascension energy. What is ascension? Ascension is really just a higher state of consciousness. That's really what ascension is. And it's really a descension of these higher aspects of ourselves that are starting to integrate with us. And with those integrations, you become more in tune with how powerful you are, right? A manifester. When things just start flowing in your life, when you can take responsibility for everything that happens in your life, even illness. And I don't know all the specifics of what's going on, with Dave, but clearly, we shouldn't be judging things as being bad or good. If we're in alignment with ourselves, and we can understand that everything is for a reason, and there's a lesson to learn, because that's why we're here. We're here to master ourselves. That's what karma is all about. We're here to master ourselves. Just like Jesus and Buddha and Pinyin and all the ascended masters are here clearing their karma, and then as they do, they ascend to those higher realms, those higher dimensions, those higher states of consciousness.
Right. So, Robin, you're also saying too that like therapy and talk therapy and working one-on-one, that has its place, but this obviously is very important, just as much as that is as well.
Well, as we're moving forward, we can see that the talk is not enough. Right. And that we have to clear the static so that we can start to see things more clearly and start understanding that it's our responsibility to pull that stagnant energy that's keeping us from being the best version of ourselves out, so that we can rise to the occasion and get rid of everything, not just relationships, but being in a bad job, not loving where you live, for that matter. Anything that's not a vibrational match to you really has to leave your field at this time, because as I mentioned before, the amount of autoimmune diseases that's going on is it's unreal. The numbers are just keep raising up, and something like COVID that instills so much fear, right? Because that's what it is. We're pulling out these fear frequencies. If it's not fear, it's love, and that's where we're focusing in, is those love vibrations. And so we have to pull anything that gives us a sense of doubt or not being worthy or anything that gives us fear is of those lower vibrations, and we have to start switching our mindset around this.
All right. Somebody asked the question: how long are treatments, and how long do you see results? Is it individually based?
So it's individually based. It is. We offer two modalities at this time. We offer a no-touch modality, which is an ongoing increment up in your frequency. So we pull off karma and density out of your field. Those sessions, they're an hour-long sessions, but the session itself is probably more like 40-45 minutes. And then there's the quantum recalibration, which is a one and done. Once you get recalibrated, you don't get recalibrated again. And that's done over 2 days. And each session is an hour as well. And so the amount, again, it's an accelerant. It's like pulling off the Band-Aid. So if whatever issues that you're dealing with are going to come up to the surface, and you will be triggered. And it's for you to become aware of why these triggers are happening. And then we're into responding instead of being so reactive. So we respond to the triggers that are coming up for us, and then we start to look at it from a higher perspective of what is not in alignment for us. And so it is based on, what I tell my clients: the more you can surrender to the process of letting go of what no longer serves you, it's not that it won't be uncomfortable, but your recovery will be much quicker the more you can surrender.
I can feel David wanting to say something.
Wow.
Which he's normally pretty, I don't have to sense it, but I can feel him want this. Like, I need to share with Robin.
This is an opportunity for me to learn, so I'll be better served by keeping my mouth shut and listening. But I can resonate with a lot of that, and I can wholeheartedly agree, Robin, with the idea that a big part of this process of healing and growth is simply getting out of our own way. Now, what I recognize is that, from my perspective, a lot of what you're talking about is kind of next level stuff. We're talking about the evolution of humanity, and it's apropos, and I think it's really important work. So, what I'm thinking, and my question to you, Robin, is: do you find that the people you serve are further along on their path, maybe more familiar with some of the spiritual verbiage, if you will, that you use? Or do you find that the people that you're serving are kind of just starting out on this process of self-discovery and spiritual growth?
it really runs the whole gamut. We have people that never didn't even know what a chakra was, but again, they were maybe at an expo, a health expo, and they just came up to the counter and something again about the word Marconics or through a conversation felt compelled to get a session or come to a class. So, and then we have those that are very seasoned, like myself. I thought, my first spiritual teacher came into my life at 18. And so I thought I kind of knew everything until I started getting involved with Marconics. And I realized it was very humbling because I realized how much I really didn't know about what is really about the evolution of humanity. What is this about? We are now, by the decisions and choices we are making now, we are planning our next incarnation. I personally never felt that I belong here. I've always felt a discordance to the energies here, and I want to get it right because I don't want to come back to this density personally. So I'm very excited to be able to help others who understand the importance, and not just the importance, but there's an urgency. There's a split. There's a bifurcation. People are either going down the road of staying in those fear and chaos. If you have a lot of chaos in your life, you're most likely not aware that there's even a choice to go higher vibrationally, and what you're preparing is your next incarnation. Where do you want to be? Do you want to come back into this rinse and repeat cycle, or do you want to go back to a time when we were powerful, that we had these 36 senses, that our energetic aura or morphogenetic field was not just 6 feet wide, that it's actually 30 feet in diameter. Our chakra systems were nipped at the spine. They're not supposed to be conical. They're actually round, and they fit into each other like a Russian nesting doll. And they work together as a unified field, so that karma no longer has to accumulate. So, there are people that know very little about this, but there's a knowing. There's a knowing in every cell of their body that tells them, yes, I want to do this. I want to get into a deeper connection to my Godhead, myself at source. We're done giving our power away to something outside of ourselves.
And I'm thinking too, and feel free to anybody to add in, but I'm thinking about my own spiritual journey just, in this lifetime of, there were lots of lessons that were shown to me over and over again until I finally said, okay, universe, I get it. I'm not going to do that again. And it wasn't until I finally said, okay, and started doing something different that lesson stopped. And those lessons came in all sorts of different ways, and they weren't fun. And what I tried to do at first was ignore it and say, no, I'll figure it out. I don't need to listen to this lesson that I'm getting tuned in. Let me just do my own thing. And that was totally wrong, because as soon as I figured out what that issue was, check that one off the list. Now I can move on to the next thing. It almost sounds like a smaller, version basically of what you're saying, the bigger picture of ascension and all that kind of stuff. Even just this lesson, those little tiny lessons that we need to learn in order for our own growth are so important in order for us to grow.
Yeah, and that's, I think, largely why we're here. I'm sorry, Robin.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave. What'd you say?
No, I was going to say, I think that's a big part of why we're here is to learn lessons. And it's occurred to me that, again, once we get the lessons, like Stephanie said, I imagine, again, you're reading my mind. Once we get the lessons that the challenges in our lives are meant to teach us, those challenges don't need to show up anymore. And whether we get there through our own struggle or accept the help of someone like yourself who can facilitate this transformation, it's so important. And not only do we begin to heal our own lives and have a more joyful, effortless experience in life, but we can also begin to share that with other people and give people the permission and show them that it's possible to heal their own lives as well. So I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, well, what I was going to share is, sometimes your guides, your higher self, your guides, will hit you over the head with that 2x4 if you're not getting it. And sometimes it comes through an illness, sometimes it comes through an accident. So I've chosen to kind of, I don't want to backtrack. I'm trying to go through life graciously and in a flow. And so yes, it's exactly right. Sometimes it will come to us in a much more difficult way.
So, Robin, what's the most rewarding and challenging aspect of the work that you do? Because I'm sure there's a lot of frustrations that you have along the way with people that are stuck or people that are acknowledging different things. But I'm sure it's very rewarding when you can connect with some of the clients that you do. So if you could share with us a little bit about rewarding and challenging for you.
Well, the first thing is I try to meet everyone where they're at. I don't try to I go at their pace. The most rewarding thing is the teaching aspect. It's one thing to be a practitioner, but to be able to teach this and to teach people not just the protocol, because not everyone that comes through class wants to be a practitioner, but just to learn about the history of the human evolution, of the history of Earth itself, actually. Because what we get involved with is the time from Atlantis and Lemuria and how that is related to the time now. And your listeners that know what that is will get it in a way, because so many of us think about all the sci-fi movies and the Matrix movies and the Marvel Comics movies. Why are those so appealing to us? Because it's a remembering for us. And so I get very excited when my clients and my students have their aha moments. I think that's probably the most rewarding
thing. And challenging?
The challenges, I don't really think I don't feel any challenges, because nothing is judged. We don't judge in Marconics. We really just, like I said, meet everyone where they're at and coach them through whatever it is they're going through. And truly, challenging is maybe, setting up my teaching schedule. That's probably the most challenging thing for me.
Okay. And during the pandemic, was it more difficult to connect with people, or were you more effective during that time, during the height of the pandemic?
No, Marconics was not running at the time during the pandemic, but I probably 2020 was one of my best years for personal growth. I got to be so creative. I did a lot of interior design work. I designed a park, a memorial park that I was very honored to be part of, the Luis Alvarez Memorial Park in Oceanside, New York. So even though I wasn't doing Marconics so much, I got to be part of something so much bigger than me that will be, for others to enjoy. Where, certainly when I'm not here anymore, they'll still be enjoying it. So I don't know. COVID was a very positive thing for me personally, as far as I didn't lose anyone in my world, and like I said, personally, I was probably the most creative I have been in a long time.
Yeah, and I have to thank you, because I was actually in Florida when the arrangements were made for that park, and you called me up. You said, Steve, can you come on this certain date? And I said, sure, I'm getting back Monday. I can come here Tuesday. And then I asked you, well, I have this young lady, Rachel Barcelona, that could do the national anthem. And you said, let's bring her on. And you went to Laura Curran's office, and within 20 minutes, you got it approved for Rachel Barcelona to do the national anthem. So I want to thank you for that, because I had done work with Laura Curran in the past, but it helped me get an interview with her last week and receive a citation. So karma is good with you, Robin. I got to thank you for that so much, because that was a wonderful time that we had a couple of days ago. We did an interview with her, and it was all made possible because of your efforts. So I want to thank you. God bless you for that.
So you say that it's me, but really, if we look at it from a larger perspective, I got the hit. I got the hit to invite you. And we haven't really, it's been a few years since we were co-hosting together, but I said, you know what, Steve should be there. Not knowing that Rachel was going to be available, that she was even going to be around. But I know Rachel because we interviewed her many times when I was co-host with you. And I really got inspired. That was an inspirational hit because that's your karma. That's your connection to you. That's communicating to my higher self. And that's how together, that's what this is all about. We're helping each other. This shift that we're going through, this age of Aquarius that we are now in, is about community. It's about working together and being there, and me being, the best version of myself each time I'm showing up. I got that hit to get in touch with you, and then everything just fell in place, and that's what Marconics is. Marconics is being in alignment.
Well, I am definitely a believer now, so I want to thank you so very much. And Dave, any last thoughts about the work Robin's doing?
Oh, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I think we're muted.
Sorry, we had to mute because we have a 2-year-old screaming.
Yeah,
so for all of you.
What I was saying is that, the type of things that you and I talk about, Robin, they can be sort of esoteric and sometimes out of reach, but I think this information needs to become more and more mainstream. And, at its heart, and you spoke very eloquently to it, it's about being of service to others and helping people overcome these self-imposed obstacles and really step into their true power. And recognizing that. And I know personally there's just so much peace and joy and gratitude that comes as a result of healing these negative patterns, whether they're from within this lifetime or potentially other lifetimes. So I just want to say thank you for sharing that. Marconics is something that I'll have to look more into. I'm certainly open to all the different ways that we can help ourselves and help one another. But I think it's really important for people like you and I and Stephanie and Steve as well to keep getting our message out there, letting people know above all else that it can get better. And, for me, I know one of my biggest challenges is trying to figure out how to best inspire people to fan the flame of hope and actually start to take action, even if they don't know exactly where they're going to land. Take a leap of faith. Get out there and really start to understand that life can get better.
Wow. Well said, Dave. And Robin, how can people get a hold of you if they want more information or contact you for the work that you do?
So I'm on Facebook as Robin Landau. I'm on Instagram as Robin Joy Landau. You can also just reach out through my website, robinjoylandau.com. And Marconics is Marconics, MARCONICS.com. You can learn more about it through the website. They have 2 books that are behind me, if anyone's noticing them. There's 2 books that the founders, Allison David Bird and Lisa Wilson, wrote that talk about why now, what is Marconics, what can it do for us. The second book is more about our relationship to Atlantis and Lemuria and how that relates to what we're actually going through now. There's about a lot of parallels that we're reliving and clearing from the unified field as a collective consciousness. So so any of those ways you can reach out to me. I also have some classes coming up in New York, but we're really around the world at this time. We're around the planet: Canada, Japan, UK, Spain. All across the United States, in Texas. There's a practitioner most likely in a city or town near you.
Robin, thank you so very much for joining us here. And I know you're traveling, so thank you for taking the time out to share with our viewers all the amazing work that you do.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, guys, another great guest. And I like having another guy on this set. I just got to tell you, just saying,
Hey, maybe we can do this again.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to do this again. But Robin's a great work that she's doing. And we have a new show coming to the network. And he's coming, Gene DiNapoli, Reminiscing with Gene. He's a great musician. He's a great guy. He pays it forward. His show has been ongoing, but it's going to be on the network starting this Monday at 8 p.m. So I think we have Gene backstage here. Let's bring Gene on real quick. Gene, are you there?
I'm here, Stevie. What's up?
How you doing? Say hello to Stephanie and Dave.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good, Gene. How you doing?
What's up, Gene? This is like man central over here. Normally it's the opposite. So thanks for coming on, Gene.
Yeah, well, get used to it because that's going to be the new norm. I got to tell you, I was listening to you guys. I was listening to you guys talk for the past half hour, and it makes me want to do more community service to people because you really do a lot of great things.
Well, Gene, you're a great guy, and you've been doing a lot of great things too. You donate your time for fundraising efforts, certainly supporting what we've been doing all along. Reminiscing with Gene, what are people in store, new viewers? You have a lot of viewers out there, but for the new people out there, what are they going to see this Monday night?
Well, Reminiscing with Gene DiNapoli is my Monday night show, and I get people from the past, singers, actors, some sports figures, and we talk about the good old days, which I was not a part of because I'm only 55. But we got a lot of great guests. This next coming Monday, we got a guy named Bobby D'Andrea, who had a 1959 hit called Darling Lorraine. Then we got the Times. We got a lot of people coming up. We've done 43 shows already.
Wow.
And they're all available on my YouTube channel or Reminiscing with Gene DiNapoli page. So we had people like Bobby Rydell, Ron Dante from the Archies, Vito Picone, Joey D, Larry Chance. We had Tony Darrow from The Sopranos, Lou Martini from The Godfather. And we just a real gambit of personalities, and it's going to get bigger and better. I got a big guest coming up in August, which I
think we're having some technical issues, though, Gene. But
I think we lost him, but it's kind of fun. It's another interesting thing, like what we were talking about before with Robin, with David as also a musician, and here having Gene talk about this great new show. It's kind of a cool coincidence, if you will, that he's on. So we'll be excited to watch that and see all the great guests that Gene has come on his show.
No doubt. He's a great guy. And to end this show, do you guys like Pat Benatar?
Sure, of course. It's my childhood.
A Long Island girl, Linda Nurse, and she did a great thing. Heartbreaker, a big hit. But it's 40 years since this album, 40 years today, since this album came out, and Promises in the Dark. 40 years ago. Did you ever see Pat Benatar in concert?
No. I wish. That would have been cool.
Well, she's playing October 12th here in New York, but you guys are in Texas, so I'll tell you all about it when I see her.
Oh, nice. You're going? We need video, or it didn't happen?
Yeah, well, we're gonna see the video, but I saw her a couple of years back. We have a little clip, but before we show that little clip, there we go. 40 years ago today, Precious Moments there, her album. And Promises in the Dark was on that album. We have a little clip of me in concert watching her perform. So, guys, thank you so very much. We're going to end it with Pat Benatar. And God bless you guys. Have a great night.
You too, Steve.
Till next time.
All right. Thank you.